Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Fantasy Football Expo podcast series. I'm your host, Bob Lung of the Fantasy Football Expo, and I'm so excited for these two special guests. This is our good friend, Alex Kaganovsky and Dave Gerczak from FFPC. Thank you guys for being here. Always a pleasure. Dave, Alex, how have you been? Now that the season's over, you guys are ramping up for the new year. Talk about what you guys been doing.
Well, there's no off season for us. We're kind of, at least, not anymore. It used to be, but now even in this season long world, there's always something going on. It just feels like if it's not, for us, if it's not Dynasty, it's already best ball, and then before you turn around, you already have the rest of the draft starting, and then all of a sudden here comes the summer. So it's pretty crazy all year round.
I can imagine. And you guys don't do baseball, right? It's just football only, correct?
Not currently. We've been focused on the NFL for our entire existence, but you never know.
Dave, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. I think last time we hung out was at Dallas, I think, for the FSGA conference, the last time we saw each other.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I'm great. Everything is going well with me and family, and FFPC is humming along. It's great to have such an awesome partner like Alex to talk with and work with every day.
I can imagine.
It is a true pleasure.
What a sweetheart. What a sweetheart.
So much love here. So much love. We love it. So, guys, we're going to talk just a little bit about, your past, how you got to this point. So, and Dave, we'll start with you. Talk about when you actually started playing fantasy football. You got the bug. You started getting into this world that, today now we're 60 million, 70 million plus playing. When did it all start for you?
It started, I played at a local league. It was a 10-team league in 1999. Terrell Davis was my first pick, and he promptly tore his ACL that year. I think Jake Plummer was my second-round pick. My team did terribly. But yeah, it was still super fun, hanging out with the guys, and everyone kind of did what they call the basement league drafts back then, and
right.
It was super. It was a super good time on CBS Sportsline, and after that, I kept playing in that local league, and we first heard Alex and I separately. We didn't know each other then, but we first heard about the World Championship of Fantasy Football organized by Lenny Papano in 2002, and that was the first time I really thought there was something beyond a local league, and then coming out to Las Vegas and watching the opening weekend and drafting with all these strangers, it's really compelling. It's super fun, and I'm really excited to still be in the industry at this point, or actually to have gotten in the industry and still be here.
And still be there, right? Yeah. Not everybody lasts this long. Alex, talk about your experience getting started in the fantasy football world. When did you start actually playing fantasy football?
Yeah, I was just trying to think back because I haven't been asked that question in a while. And I always think about one of the first time I started playing online, which I think was the old Fanball website that I used.
Okay.
But I think I go even further than that. And the New York Post has like a fantasy football contest that you have to cut out and fill out and mail back. And,
oh, wow.
And I think that was the first one. And I was trying to think back. I think it may have even been baseball and not football at the time. So yeah, it goes. I don't remember the year, but it was definitely a newspaper-driven contest.
Right.
That was that must be at least 30 years ago, I guess.
Yeah. I always tell people I started playing in 1985 before the internet, of course, just like you did, and just got that little book that I think was Chris Charpentier that wrote the little book just called Playing Fantasy Football. And luckily, I was one of the few people that worked at a place that had a computer, a PC, personal computer, and Lotus 1-2-3, and did the old school way of printing them out, mailing them with stamps, and taking everybody's answering machine messages on Sunday morning to leave their lineup. So we have come a long way, as they say. So great stuff as well. So Alex, back to you. Let's talk about then this creation. Dave kind of expounded on it a little bit, but talk about when, this whole idea of, getting something bigger, something better, something that can be, this what FFPC has become today, which is one of the leaders in these national championship competitions, and when did it switch to online? Did you start that originally? How did it all come together?
Well, I can tell you that there was definitely no plans, or even I think in our wildest dreams did we expect to kind of be where we are right now, maybe in terms of the size of the business and the size of the contest that we have grown to. So I think, every few years we were like, oh, imagine if we got to this point. And then, we kind of got there and like, wow, it's amazing. And then, we just had these hurdles and we really never had expectations to be here, but here we are. Just it goes to show you that season long is still kind of the driving force. We've seen all these other contest kind of formats come and go, and still some of them still around, but everyone wants to play season long. So we just kind of got lucky, I guess, and picked the right format.
No, you guys definitely did. Dave, talk about, how you got to be involved with this and, maybe if you can throw out some numbers, like what you guys started, like what was your first year of registrants or registered people, attendees versus where you are guys today?
Yeah, our first year, we just pretty much spent very little on advertising, and I believe our main event goal was 180 teams, or that's what we finished with, at least $75,000 grand prize. It was mostly word of mouth, us and other high stakes players that we'd gotten to know over the years, and just kind of saying, hey, we're going to be out in Las Vegas as well, just like the World Championship and of fantasy football, and kind of piggybacking off their concept. And, just having a few satellite leagues and ancillary leagues and things like that. It was more of a hobby for us even at that time, even as people running the contest.
Right.
And we just kind of wanted to see what we could do with it a little bit and see if people would be interested. And, it grew from there. There's been different interesting things, the new management of WCOFF, they didn't do a great job. So they had financial difficulties, kind of like some of the banking stuff you're hearing nowadays, and
right.
On a much more smaller scale, but it wasn't regulated. So, now this industry is regulated, all the money is really truly safe. And, but, going against people who didn't make the best decisions. And then, we partnered with football guys, and that partnership recently ended, but they were a large contributor to our growth and our success, and we thank them for that. They were great. So there's been a lot of things that have really helped us grow. But yeah, starting with that small number and just kind of going from there. And it's weird. You think like, oh, I don't think we can get any more customers, or people all know about us, and it's so far from the truth. I still feel like it's kind of the tip of the iceberg from like the average fantasy player as to what we do and what we offer.
Obviously, like you said, you kind of started live, and now you have both live and online. I assume you have a lot of international folks. Talk about, either one of you can pipe in, whoever's got that good information of, do you know like how many folks you have from overseas or somewhere outside the United States that are playing versus US, and how is that growing? Because I know I keep seeing it every day in the world of international content creators and players all over the world.
There are definitely some overseas players. It's mostly, I would say, transplanted citizens. And but to be perfectly honest, it's 95% Americans, United States, 5% Canada, and then just like a fraction international. So we still got a long way to go.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're right. So there's a whole world sitting out there waiting. I know, like you said, when our King's Classic thing that we do for Expo weekend, we added some international folks just so that we could get them more involved and get people from everywhere, from England to South Africa to Ireland to Australia, of course, Mexico and Canada as well. So no, that's great stuff. And it sounds like in due time, you guys will have the official World Championships, and you can take it over there and do an international one as well. That would be super cool. Obviously, while we're here today, of course, is not only to kind of learn about you guys and have people put names to faces for both you, Alex and Dave, but obviously the big news and the big announcement is once again this year, the FFPC has graciously donated another $2,000 entry into your $1 million competition. Britt Flynn won it last year at our, we had a drawing. So basically everybody who buys a $75 package gets a free entry into the drawing to win this entry. So guys, thank you for that. Talk about this new $1 million maker. Everybody loves to play DFS and, you know, think they can win the million, but it's about like playing the lottery there. Here, you've got a little bit of better chance if you've got some skills. Am I right?
That's what we like to tell people, right?
Well, first of all, let me say we are super happy and proud to support.
Thank you.
The Fantasy Football Expo. I think it's, you know, as soon as I kind of found out about it, you know, there's been attempts at this in the past, and we're really excited that you're able to keep it going. This is, I believe, year 4 for you. 4. So I think, you know, anything like this that could, you know, could really get more people into the industry, whether it's, you know, on the industry side or on the users player side, whatever the case may be, you know, it's really good for everybody. So we're really happy to support it. And yeah, we're donating the entry, which you're going to raffle off into our main event. And that's a $2,000 entry with $1 million grand prize, you know, millions of dollars in prize pool. And yeah, you could still win it. I mean, if you play in your home league and if you play in or anywhere, you know, and you know how to draft a team and how to set a roster, you have a chance in the main event. And there's not that many $1 million contests around in the season-long fantasy football world. So we're proud to have probably one of the largest.
Yeah, no, we're honored to have that. Go ahead.
To add to that, I mean, you can win, if you win your 12-team league, you can win $5,000, $7,000. And second place is $200,000. So it's not just the million. So it's not like a lottery. You know, really, you have a decent chance to win money if you happen to win the lottery that you're holding, so to speak. So it makes it worth going to the Expo just for that shot, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, everybody was so excited when we announced it last year. They're obviously just as giddy about it this year. I mean, like you said, that's a big deal. I mean, heck, like you said, just winning your 12-team league, which, you know, you had a 1 in 12 chance to win $7,000, you said, right? First place. Yeah,
it's in that. It depends on, you know, the seating and stuff like that. But yeah, it can be in that neighborhood for sure.
Yeah, so definitely worth that. So, folks, even if you don't get to the Expo, you don't get a chance, or you do go to the Expo, which we obviously want you to do, and you don't win the graciously donated prize, get in this anyway. Get $2,000. Don't tell your wife or your spouse or your significant other or anybody. Just, you know, take that money, keep saving aside, you know, maybe $50 a week now. It'll add up quickly. You'll have your amount there. You get in that, you know, and if you're good enough to, you know, win your leagues around here, you may be surprised. You might be good enough to knock off some of those folks as well. So definitely enter in that at myffpc.com for sure. There are all kinds of great contests. So guys, why don't you just kind of describe FFPC and all the different contests? Because it's not just win a lot of money. You guys got everything covered. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, our league start at $5 and go all the way up to $10,000. So yes, you're right. We got everyone covered. You could play best ball. You could play dynasty. You could play, you know, various classic formats. You could play some really cool, interesting formats like the Terminator, which is a FFPC exclusive. You could obviously play for millions of dollars, $500 million, and you know that it's. I think the one thing to add about playing in the main event. I mean, one thing that we've noticed is a lot of industry folks have really started to play in our events, and you know, it's become kind of a little bit of a you know, of a proving ground for people. And, you know, not everyone can afford the $2,000, and we get it. We have the smaller events as well. But, you know, I think a lot of the talkers are now kind of the players, you know, and I think it's really good for the industry when people who talk about the industry and giving advice are also playing and competing and, you know, and are able to have a track record.
Love it. Dave, any further comments?
Yeah, I mean, further to that, I mean, if you're like a subscriber of some site, now you can actually play against the person you're getting advice from. So it's kind of a, you know, it's a beat the expert type of thing where and you may not be competing directly against them, but Yeah, that's always super exciting. And Alex mentioned Dynasty. I'm the Dynasty commissioner, and we have over 1,200 Dynasty leagues. They start at $77 and go up to 2,500. We have one $5,000 league, but so if you're interested in Dynasty at any level, and we have them in standard, super flex, we have a RotoViz Triflex format, which is different, best ball, super flex, best ball, literally anything. We have orphans right now, and then we have startup leagues coming. And I just think Dynasty, when you talk about year-round football, Dynasty is really where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
So many people have gone from season-long redraft to now playing season-long Dynasty, and the other way around. Actually, we have Dynasty guys who come in and start playing like the main event in our 350 contest and things like that. So it's really great, actually, that people can find all these different formats to compete in.
Right. And if you're into Dynasty, if you go to my FFPC.com, you can definitely see all of the orphan teams that are available. Am I right, Dave?
Yeah, if you go to the orphan section, and there's you click, our site's maybe not the most user friendly at times. You click on the Dynasty thing, and it'll just say teams available for sale, and it'll take you right there, and you'll see them all.
Well, there's a lot of things going on, so sometimes you have to kind of figure your way around.
No, it's not that hard fun.
Yeah, definitely with everything starting this week for free agency. I mean, you're already seeing some movement today, and this is Monday the 13th. When it comes, by the time we get this out there, will be a few days past, but definitely a lot of stuff going on already, and we just got started, as they say. So keep an eye on those orphan teams. There might be some good value there after all the free agencies are done. So that might be a cool thing to check out as well. So guys, I'm going to ask the tough question. And I've asked this to you guys before, and I know that some people are going to watch this. They're going to watch this video, and this is going to be their question. Dave, Alex, are we ever going to have an FFPC live tournament at the Expo weekend?
That is a tough question. Well, I can tell you that the question has been asked in the past as far as, will we expand outside of Las Vegas,
right.
New York and Florida, or, Atlantic City or whatever, California. And the answer, unfortunately, I guess for those asking, is the no. And the reason why is, having live drafts is really, is not that easy to put together. And, especially if you want to do it right, you need to set it up, you need to send staff, you need to, to really have it done right. But with that said, the Fantasy Football Expo is a little bit of a different, I think, venue. So I think there's definitely some opportunity there for sure, especially with what the Expo is for, being an industry event. I think we should it's definitely something we should talk about.
So you say there's a chance. I feel like I'm watching a political guy talk over here.
I got it.
There's something to come.
No, and look, I've been asked it before. I know, Alex, I've asked you this before, so I was putting you on the spot, but I kind of knew what the answer was.
No, it's not a spot at all. No, I'm happy.
Yeah. Here's the great thing is, one, we're going to be going over probably 1,000 attendees this year. They have this new dome they just built that we're going to do actually the Expo in. It's 100,000 square foot with a football field in the middle of it. We could fit a lot of people. Now, I'm not saying that we're ready for it yet, but we definitely have the venue size if we want to get bigger and better with that one. And it is the Pro Football Hall of Fame, so there is a destination. May not be Vegas, but you know what? It'd probably be a lot cheaper to stay here too.
I'm sure. I guess the big question is, do the like all the industry folks at the event want to draft against each other for big money? I'm not sure. I guess we'll might have to find out, right?
Yeah, well, they might want to put their money where their mouth is. I mean, we do the King's Classic for pride in a belt, but we know there's some players there, Howard and Adam Ronis and all those boys. They like to throw some money around, so certainly we have potential. We'll just put it that way. We have potential for the future. But no, again, thank you guys for being a part of this. We're, again, so honored and blessed that you guys are supporting the Expo with this amazing $2,000 entry that we'll be raffling off Friday night at the Friday night party. Thank you again, Alex and Dave, for being a part of this. Any final words before we go? But again, once again, thank you so much.
No, and thanks for having us. We're actually looking forward to making it out to the Expo. I'm embarrassed to say we have
okay.
not been there, neither Dave or myself.
Yeah.
But we definitely will be. And good luck. Hopefully you're here for years and years to come.
Yeah, I mean, 1,000 attendees in year 4 is really incredible. I mean, it's
yeah. When our first year was only 75.
that's nuts, man. That's great.
And you made it through COVID.
Yeah. We toughed through COVID for 1 year. That first year coming out of COVID, we went from 75 to 500 last year. Then we went to 750 in our year 3. So like you said, we're planning on 1,000, but that's why we had to move to the Dome, because we outgrew the hotel. There was no space for everybody to be there. It was too crowded. And now we have a space that we can fit 5,000 people in this place, and it won't be a problem. So really excited. And of course, it's quite a blessing that the Pro Football Hall of Fame's village that they're building around this Hall of Fame is what's making this so much easier for me, because now they have this dome. They're going to put a hotel right on site. Next year, they're building a water park. So now you can bring the whole family to this Expo weekend.
Nice.
So yeah, it's becoming kind of this, they call it the Walt Disney World of football. So you can bring the whole family. Dads can do their football thing. Mom and kids can do. They have a Ferris wheel. They got zip lines. They're going to have like I said, they're going to have a water park next year. So it just makes it that much easier for me to keep this growth going, because now the excuses are going away, right? The excuses always, but I can't go. My wife will kill me. My kids will be so mad. And now bring them all. Hell, bring the whole family. So we're really looking forward to this. It's going to be fun. But again, thank you guys for being a part of this. We really appreciate it. And so once again, for Dave and Alex, I'm Bob Lung, Fantasy Football Expo. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks again for listening. Hey, everybody. Do you want to continue to learn more about the Fantasy Football Expo? Well, then subscribe to our channel so you don't miss an episode. Expo registration is now open, so make sure you visit thefantasyfootballexpo.com to get your tickets now, and come and experience fantasy football's greatest weekend in Canton, Ohio this August 11th through the 13th.